Hello and welcome to TFD TV. I'm Linsey Frankus and this is FYI Friday, where every week we are solving your DIY and interior design related dilemmas, one question at a time. So to kick things off, I'm going to start with a question that I actually was recently asked twice in the same weekend. And it is a painting related question. So I feel like it's one that we will all deal with at one point in time or another in our life. So the question is, Linsey, we're painting. What do I do about the ceilings? Which is a great question. There's been some fads that have come and gone. And so now people are kind of like, what do we do? Totally get it. My answer is actually very simple, and that is to keep it simple and stick with the most traditional route, which is to just paint it white. And you don't have to decide on a color of white or anything, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret that you might not know about, and that is that there is something called ceiling paint. You don't have to pick a color or a shade or anything. You just go to the store and grab your ceiling paint. Or you tell your painter, hey, just paint it white with ceiling paint. And boom, you're done. So to make it easy, that's my answer. And now we can kind of discuss some of the other things that are possibilities that you might want to consider. And I'll kind of tell you my opinion on them. So one thing that has kind of come and gone, and I believe it's gone for a reason, is that they started doing this thing a while back where they would paint the wall color up and over onto the ceiling. And then they would come in after the fact with the ceiling spackle or the texture, and they would put that on after the color. So what you're left with was like a background color that matched your walls, and then these white splatter marks all over. So it was kind of very abstract looking. It was kind of cool, but at the same time a little bit distracting and a little busy for a ceiling, I think. The main reason that I would steer you away from doing that, if you have the option, if you're doing like a new construction or a remodel, would be, I want you to think long term on this. And we tend to repaint our walls probably anywhere from like 5 to 10 years. You need a fresh coat of paint. And if you've got your ceiling painted the same color of your walls and you're ready for a change, you're now tied in to painting both your ceiling and your walls. If you've never painted a ceiling before, take my word for it. It is a butt kicker, and you don't want to do it. Actually, it's more like a pain in the neck, I guess, because you're like looking up and anyway, it's excruciatingly painful and terrible, and if you don't have to do it, don't. So that is why I would stay away from that fad. The other thing that's kind of come and gone is to take your wall color and wrap it up and over. And in certain rooms, this can be really cool because if you have a low ceiling, you can play with color and make it look taller. Or if you have a really tall ceiling, and you want to kind of bring it down a little bit, you can do so with your color. So there are reasons why wrapping the wall color up and over could be beneficial to you. But again, it just comes back to when you repaint, you're now stuck repainting your ceiling too. So that is, again, why I would stay away from that. There are some older houses that have this neat trend where they might have like a railing, a trim around the top, and it's different from a crown molding, where it's kind of a couple of feet down from the ceiling on the wall. There would be a piece of trim. So you would put one wall color up to that trim and then a different wall color, the remaining part of the wall, and up and over. So there are times when you can play with it and it can be really cool, but I really just think that so many of you are already so stressed out when it comes to picking your paint colors, and you should be. It's a tough thing to do, that I would say don't give yourself one more thing to worry about. The whole look of just keeping a white ceiling white with white ceiling paint, to me, there's a reason that it's been around forever, and that's because it's one of those timeless looks that's never going to go out of style. It's going to be easier on you in the long run. And so my suggestion is just to stick with that. So if you have any comments or questions and you'd like to chime in on the conversation, I would love to have you do so. I think the best place for this is probably going to be in the comments in the blog. So feel free to speak up, speak out, ask questions there. I would love to get a conversation going about it after all these videos are done. If you have a question that you would like to have answered, please feel free to send it to me at Linsey@tfdstyle.com. Love to get your question answered and maybe help out a bunch of other people that have that same question as well. So anyway, thanks for hanging in there with me today. Thanks for tuning in, and please check back on Fridays. I'm really excited about this, and I think it's just going to continue to get better and better and better. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.